All right, welcome back to Missing Persons TV. I'm Brian Ladd with my co-host Deborah. Today's Sunday, May 17th, 2009, 9:14 p.m. We have our three cases from 2008. They are as follows: Case 614, Danny Barter; Case 615, Tamra Jewell; Case 618, Sofia Oliveira; and Case 745, Erika Andelman. And that is a case request from Deborah last night, and we'll be discussing that. I do have that case. It's also posted on the website. It's case 745. As usual, if you're in the chat room, please click on the cases that are at the top right-hand side of your screen. That will open a new window, and you can actually see the cases that I'll be discussing tonight. So tonight we have some guests with us. Gail St. John is with us, and so is Kevin Doyle, and of course Deborah as usual. How you guys doing?
Good.
Great, Brian.
Deborah,
I'm doing fine, Brian. How are you?
I am fine. I heard you had some interesting stuff that happened to you today, Deborah. But first off, Gail, I know you've been going through some difficult times. Would you care to talk about that tonight?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
You want me to talk about it now?
Well, I had only mentioned that your daughter was in the hospital. She's having some issues, and I didn't want to really explain what was going on. I thought that was up to you. We did pray for her. We were really hoping that she's doing better. I know she's probably been in, what, 5 days now?
Right.
Okay.
And I want to thank everyone who has been out here, and I've gotten a lot of emails, and I really appreciate it. I haven't had a chance to get back with everyone because on top of her being in the hospital, I ended up sick. As you can tell, I don't sound too good yet. I have bronchitis, and I actually collapsed yesterday at the hospital, which is probably a good place to collapse if you're going to do it.
That's true.
And they kept me overnight because I had difficulty breathing. But my daughter is in the hospital. She had extreme pain. I took her into the emergency room. She's 31. She's a registered nurse. And I took her in, and we found out that her liver enzymes and her pancreas, the enzymes from that, were extremely high. And the pain that she had directed them to look at the gallbladder, and they found out that she has a lot of stones in the gallbladder, and apparently one passed and blocked the bile duct between the liver and the pancreas. Now, she was in stable condition at first when we first brought her in. Then she took quite a turn and went very unstable, was extremely ill, and we kind of been waiting. She's still not at a point where they can do surgery, but she's stable enough right now that they're giving her IV medication, and they're hoping for Wednesday being able to have her in a stable enough condition to actually operate and remove the gallbladder.
Okay. Well, again, we pray for her and we hope that she's going to be okay.
Yes, and thanks everyone, you Brian too. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. Well, we just hope that she's going to be all right. You had talked before about she was turning yellow. That's what's that called? When you're living with jaundice.
Yeah, she turned yellow from
some babies are born. Like one of my kids, I think, was born that color for a little while. I guess until the liver starts functioning. So, and
right.
I didn't realize that adults could actually get like that. But I guess that makes sense. So I know that's pretty serious. So I'm glad she's stable. Let's hope she stays that way and recovers after surgery.
I hope so. I'm still nervous about waiting for the surgery Wednesday.
Okay. Well, thank you for being on, Gail. Would you like to? We're going to be discussing some cases. I know we discussed this earlier. You have done one of them. The other two you haven't. Did you want to stay on? And help us out with this?
I'll stay on as long as I can.
Okay. If you have to go, that's fine. If you have to go, just go. Okay.
Okay.
That said, we also have Kevin Doyle with us tonight. Kevin Doyle is a psychic, and he's been working on different techniques on how to help us with missing person cases. Kevin, explain to the viewers now what you're going to be doing tonight.
Well, what I did was I did some meditation on 3 different cases for Danny Barter, Tamra Jewell, and Sofia,
Mm-hmm.
basically I just meditated and asked for guidance and the most effective and immediate complete information concerning their whereabouts, how they can be found, and any information that could help pertaining to their location and how they can be found. I'm not going to guarantee that this information I have is correct, but I am definitely putting all of my abilities to work in order to help find missing people. And I believe anybody can do this as long as they believe they can. And if they do it a couple of times and maybe practice at it, they can get good at it. You just got to keep doing it. It's like riding a bicycle.
Okay. Well, well said, Kevin. Yeah, I believe that anybody can do this. And, we don't care if you're right or wrong. We care that you're trying, and that's all that really matters. I will take notes for you.
Exactly.
Okay. I'll take notes for you. Gail, would you like to go first before we discuss the case file? Will that affect your reading?
No, it won't. It won't affect me at all.
Okay.
Really, seriously, it doesn't.
Okay, so we'll let you go last then. On these cases, and then the new case. I'm going to be discussing the new case first. So, Kevin, I don't think you got the new case. You might. I think Deborah sent it to you last night via email, but it doesn't sound like you got it. And that's
No,
for Erika.
I've recently had a friend of mine. His brother's in the hospital, and I've been helping him with that. And
Don't worry about it then. Yeah, no, don't worry about that at all.
Get it.
Okay, no, that's fine. Let's hope. Okay, you were talking about that too, and about your the abilities that you have to see upcoming deaths. I know I discussed it with you before. Did you want to bring any of that up,
Yes.
or did you want to skip it?
Sure, I can talk about it.
Okay.
I've been ever since I was born. It depends on how I'm connected to the person.
Mm-hmm.
The more I know them, or the more I know of them, the more I'm connected to them. And it's just like anything else. Everything is energy. The more you're involved with any certain kind of energy, then the more things can happen. And apparently, with my ability, I can sometimes sense when people, right before people are going to die. And this one was the closest one yet, being that it happened so suddenly for me to have that feeling. But it was kind of like, for this time around, it was a distant feeling, in that I didn't know his brother too well. It was through a good friend of mine. And I didn't know him too well. I think I'd met him a few times, talked to him maybe a few times in the past, but I didn't really have too much connection to him. But I did sense that something really bad was going to happen to him. And of course, I have not told my friend, and I'm not going to tell you who my friend is.
Mm-hmm.
But I will say that I do have the ability of sometimes being able to sense when people are going to pass away. And what good is this kind of ability? Because I tried to stop certain things from happening. Like one was a suicide, where I actually felt the person committing suicide at that time. And it's something that I'm figuring out. I think it's a good thing in a way, but for me to have this ability. But I'm like I said, I'm still figuring it out. But I just can't seem to stop the people who do die. Death is a natural thing, of course, and for me, I think it means a passing into a better life, or at least a life that is much different than the reality that we're all in right now.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, it just sometimes happens for me, bud.
Yeah, I'm sorry to hear that. And you said he's clinically dead, and they plan on pulling the
I
plug.
think he is. I think
Okay.
half his brain is gone. He basically wrapped his new car around a telephone pole. But
Okay.
you know,
Well, we wish him the best and his family the best. I'm sorry to hear that.
yeah.
That's terrible news. Thank you for sharing that, Kevin. We will pray for him too, and especially his family. I got my son over
Thank you.
here. You're welcome. One more story about death, and I hate to say this isn't about human beings. This is about animals, particularly cats. A lot of people call them feral cats. Deborah was out today trying to rescue some of these feral cats in our local area. Deborah, do you want to explain what happened?
Well, today was actually the third kitten that was rescued. The first one we gave a home to. The second one, my oldest daughter went out of town and got to bring back here to where we live. So my youngest daughter could place it with one of her friends for a home. And then this morning found out that there was a need to get the third cat out of there before the cat was euthanized tomorrow. So we were out of town getting a third kitten, which now that kitten is here. So now that's 2 new kittens in my house, but hopefully this one does have a home in the near future. But what happened is my oldest daughter she just finished her 2nd year of college. She lives, on campus in a dorm during the school year. And on college campuses, they have housing for all types of situations. They have dormitories down to apartments to like little townhouse homes on the campus as the student housing. Well, one of her classmates, who's quite a bit older than her, was living in one of the townhouses for about 2 years and was feeding a stray cat because there's no pets allowed in the campus housing. So for 2 years was feeding this female cat. She had a litter of kittens and 3 kittens made it. So a couple weeks ago when we made second trip in less than a week to move our daughter's stuff home, she asked about bringing a kitty home. We have 3 adult cats already. And we said yes, and we brought it back along with a load of her stuff that day. A couple days later, she came home at after her finals were done. And next day was on the road to get another kitten to get it placed down where we live. And then this morning, she ended up getting a phone call from the sister of this classmate because the person that was feeding the mama cat and then the kittens for, since a couple of years ago, moved to different housing and still couldn't have pets and was worried about it, which is why, she was trying to place the kittens and stuff. But there was a notice put out, all stray cats on the campus they're setting live traps for them and they're euthanizing them. They were told not to be putting any food out to feed them. Live traps are going out for tomorrow. I find it disgusting.
I think it's illegal.
In fact, a sister was trying to locate this last kitten that needed to be rescued out of there today. Mm-hmm. And when she was over there, the housing manager for that area of townhouses on campus there in the student housing asked her what she was doing there. And, it's on college campus. It's, townhouses. It's not like she's trespassing or anything. And she told this gal not to bother because the traps are going out and they're getting euthanized. So she wasn't supposed to bother looking for a kitten because it was getting taken care of in the form of let's kill it because they say that it is a health hazard to have stray cats. So I find that disgusting. Then I find out further than that when stray cats have not been fed by students up there, and there's stray cats everywhere, that they like to euthanize them and use them as lab rats, so to speak, in the pharmaceutical training program. Mm-hmm. So I'm just completely sickened by this. I just don't understand it, and I think there's got to be something illegal about it. I mean, we know it's just wrong.
Cynthia in chat, she's saying that it's illegal to terminate without a lot of amount of days, and I think she is correct. You cannot kill or trap domesticated animals, dogs and cats.
They're using live traps for them and instructed everyone not to be putting any
that alone,
out.
Live traps presents more of a hazard for other cats and dogs and children and whatever. I don't even know that you.
Well, there's toys all over the place. People that have children or people that are married are the ones living in these, apartments and townhomes on the campus instead of in the regular dormitories.
Right.
Because it's not just one single student. You know what I mean? So there's kids' toys and bicycles and their little Tykes cars and sandboxes everywhere. How do they do this stuff? I mean,
I don't think it's legal because I remember a story a while back. I think it was Wisconsin, some area in Wisconsin, where they were going to make it legal to shoot feral cats because of the amount of cats that they had. You could just go out and shoot. Well, the people of the district voted that out and said no, that was not going to happen. So it was illegal at the time, and it's still illegal. So I don't know how they could get away with it, private property or not. Did anybody out there take a video of what you saw?
Well, the traps were not out yet. We were, I guess, I actually have no problem stating where this is happening.
Yeah, please do. And
this is happening in Michigan.
Okay.
This is happening at state campus, a state university.
Which
and
one?
that really bothers me. It's happening at Ferris State.
Ferris State, okay. On the screen.
Ferris State, like a Ferris wheel.
Okay, PETA is a great organization. I think some of their, I think they're a great organization. I know that they have a few flaws, I think, but there's a number on the screen right here. You guys can report that. I think the number is 757-622-7382. I'll leave it on the screen. Go ahead, Deborah. I'm sorry.
I'm just sickened, and this isn't the first time in what about the last month that I have had a major problem with the fact that some people think it's okay to kill cats.
Yeah, that other one disgusted me
because
too.
They feel they're not needed, and they don't try to get the Humane Society to pick them up. They don't try to give them away. They don't try to do anything except let's just kill them.
Right. There are so many organizations out there that adopt stray animals. Not just kittens and puppies. They adopt stray animals. Gail's been working with the transport company that actually, if you want to transport animals across the country, people take legs, like, from A to B to C to D. And Gail, are you still with us?
Yeah, I'm with you.
Okay. Am I correct about that? You're part of a animal transport company?
Well, I'm still part of a transport, but for 15 years I was the director of Purebred Adoption League, and we adopted out animals, and we picked them up and put them in foster homes, and I fostered animals. I had anywhere from 4 dogs to 10 dogs, amongst other animals in my home at all times, fostering and putting them up for adoption on Pet Finder. And some of the experiences I had through my years of being the director was very upsetting. I went to one county to pick up some dogs that were deemed adoptable only if they went to a rescue. So that means, in other words, they were going to be euthanized. I went there to make a pickup, and while I was standing there, I had to sign some papers, and right out there in front of anyone who wanted to adopt, you would be seeing what I witnessed was gassing. And you can look this up on the internet. Gassing as euthanizing. State of Ohio still allows it. Many states do.
Right,
they stuff them into big drums.
I think what she said.
It's so sickening.
What Cynthia said is that they have to be taken to some type of shelter, and then they have to have a waiting period before they can be euthanized.
Not always.
Deborah, Jamie wants to know how many cats were there.
Well, the 3 kittens that belonged to the mom Cuddles were gotten out of there by us. Cuddles was still there. And there's an adult female named Mystic is what she was named. She kind of watched over the kittens and has been hanging out around there for quite some time. So there's 2 female adult cats in that complex there, right by that grouping of townhouses on the campus. But this is a big campus. There's tons of housing. There's stray cats everywhere, and so there's a whole lot more. And they certainly wouldn't be doing this and going through all this stuff if it was just 2 adult cats and 3 kittens on the entire campus. You know what I mean? And
right.
They're not holding on to them. They're not trying to place them. They're not doing anything.
Well,
they just think it's right to do this, and it's wrong. And then to find out that they've euthanized before, if there were stray cats around and weren't getting fed, and just used them as lab rats for the pharmaceutical camp, training program. I'm just totally disgusted. I want to grab a picket sign and go up there. But
a lot of people do.
Problems for my daughter.
You mentioned earlier you had another incident with cats. Did you want to explain that briefly or not?
I don't see why not.
Okay.
Okay, gosh, it was, let's see, about a month ago at the most. I was supposed to start taking care of a kitty that we were going to take in and give a home to. That on the day that we got the kitty, we found out about it the day it was born. The day that we were going to get the kitty would be 9 days old. So we're talking formula bottles. Gail told me, you know, I asked you about what to do with kittens that young and stuff, and you told me, and then you asked me to ask Gail too, and she told me to go as far as to wear the kitty for warmth, you know, put it in my pocket, whatever. So I, you know, worked that situation out. Well, we didn't end up bringing that kitty home because somebody got the nifty idea to kill the kittens. And as a form of discipline and punishment, let's make young adults watch us kill them. What happened was, my son has done some typical things as, you know, growing up, and, you know, they try, you know, party and different things like that. Laws are quite strict here, and if you get busted, you're going to get a minor in possession if you know, had a drink or done anything. You know, drinking age is 21 now. It was 18 back in our day. You know, things are a lot different now, and it's real strict. So he had to, you know, with minor in possession charges, he had to go to the county jail and serve some days there. So they sent him to what they call the sheriff's honor camp. And so it was kind of like, you know, kind of like a cabin type environment. You know, they got the farm there. They have the mounted patrol, the horses for that there. They've got pigs. They've got, you know, chickens and all this stuff. Well, I don't know if you want to call them guards or sergeants or whatever these people are that are high up in the sheriff's department that run this section. You know, it's for the low risk type people, and they've got freedom and, you know, that type of thing. So instructed them that any cats that were seen, you know, and out in farmland and stuff like that, they're stray cats. Well, they told them that any that were seen needed to be reported, that they would kill them because they bother the chickens. Well, actually, from what I heard, it was the opposite. But they saw a cat, so they were feeding the cat some scraps, and they were keeping it hush-hush. And after a day or two of that, they went out there in the morning, and the cat was moaning, and then she dropped a litter of kittens. They didn't realize it was going to happen or anything. They weren't going to go ahead and tell them, here's the kitties, go ahead and kill them. No, of course they tried to feed them, and they tried to, you know, stash them. Well, when the kittens were 5 days old, and my son had it all worked out, he was smuggling a kitten out of there. He had a creative way when he came home, and so was someone else. So they were going to get out of there. It was going to be fine, you know. Well, when they were 5 days old, they found out. So they decided to line up all the young men, all the young adult men, and make them watch why they killed them. And these are the people that, you know, supposedly, I would think that you shouldn't be committing crimes. You shouldn't be doing things that are morally wrong, or setting that kind of example. And it's sick and twisted to do stuff like that. And that's what you teach them. When they've done something, they're having to serve some days at the jail. It's just messed up.
Let me interrupt you. Is there any way that we can get the address of this jail and everyone write letters? Because there's really something sounds illegal.
Are those people employed by the jail?
Oh, I know. I wanted to inform the media, and, you know, living in the large area that
this sounds illegal to me.
Yeah, exactly. From the research I did, it was. And, you know, to make them watch like it's some kind of a punishment.
Because you can't do that humanely, and you're not a warden. Only the dog warden can do that. Or the person in charge, which is normally the dog warden, even in charge of cats in most counties.
Well, then they instructed them that, you know, if it happened, if they found any more, they needed to tell them right away.
But if you go and kill an animal right now, if you go kill an animal right now, you're going to be taken to jail and brought up on charges.
From the research I did, I was so mad. And then it's like within 1 month, places that you just would not expect. I mean, they've the county, and now we've got a state, the grounds of a state university doing this. It's like, what is wrong? This is so messed up.
Was there any way we can get an address? Because I'd like to write letters, and I'd like to put this out to a few newspapers and some other things. I'd like to have these questions answered as to how this is considered legal or humane.
I can look into that, and okay, sure, I can look into that.
Because I'm still big in rescue yet. I don't get out there as much as I used to, but I run a transport, and if I put this out to my transport, which has 6,000 members on it, they will forward it to their members. There'll be a lot of letters written, and it won't be a pretty thing.
Oh, I'm just floored, and I'm sickened, and so now, I don't know how many kitties are sitting up at the university that are doomed, so to speak. I know there's the 2 adult cats in the area of that one grouping of housing. I know there has to be a lot more, but I can't save all of them. But worst case scenario, we were bringing back this one kitten, and it wasn't easy to catch the kitten either. My husband had to pretty much attack a bush. I mean, he battled a bush and was crawling all over the place, trying to get the little stinker, to get him out of there. And that's once he was located on, around the trees and on the property. But, yeah, I just don't see what they're hurting. And it just bothers me. I'm just so upset. But worst case scenario, we could have brought them to the Humane Society here. If no one else wanted to bother making the trip, making a phone call to have them picked up by the Humane Society rescue team, we would have done that to make sure that,
well, whoever killed them needs to be brought to justice. Seriously.
Yeah, you gotta prove it now. They'll deny it, but.
Well, that's if you have enough witnesses, you might be in trouble. If you have enough witnesses and you did it in front of witnesses as a form of punishment,
you never know. They might admit to it. They might admit to it.
Yeah, I
don't think it's a big deal.
Like I said, I got 6,000 members on my transport group that I still run, that I'm in charge of. If I put that out and ask them to please forward this, there'll be so many people down there, they won't know what hit them. These people are big animal activists, and I know a lot of these rescue transport groups as well as the actual adoption groups. And I'll tell you what, if they heard this, they might have a protest down there. This won't be tolerated.
And we can, without Deborah saying too much, we can figure out where it was.
Oh, I wouldn't have to say another word. You'd be able to figure it out.
But if you have a complaint, there's PETA 757-622-7382. I think you gotta call that number and then hit the number two. The button on the phone that says number 2. That thing.
Actually, Deb in chat, Cynthia Macklin's mom, she made a comment, and this was something we were talking about within my family today. She says the good news is most of the cats will learn from the live trap and they'll avoid it. And that's what the discussion was the adult cats, when they're living outside, and stuff like that, they probably are smarter than that. But the little tiny kittens, forget it. All they're thinking of, I'm hungry, trot right over, boom, they're goners. So, that's the priority, was to get the kittens out. I don't know how many are affected, and I'm just sick over it.
Yeah, it shouldn't happen. Especially, domesticated animals are something that we made as humans. We bred to be our companions. That's what bothers me.
Well, I know there's a lot of people that think, cats are, some people have it in for cats. They just think they're useless or whatever. Oh, it's just a cat, or the only good cat is a dead cat. Those silly bumper stickers or those silly sayings. Some people are just not cat people. But the bottom line is,
I'm not, but I don't want to kill a cat.
That is known to be a pet, a family pet. And I just don't understand why anyone would think that any part of any of this is proper, that it's acceptable in any way, shape, or form.
You're right. I don't get how many people would actually, agree with that. I mean, if you'd see something like that, you'd stop it instantly. So I mean, I'm not sure. Who I don't know. I guess there are a group of people that just think that's the okay thing to do. And there's so many options out there right now for adoption. Especially with kittens. Kittens are really easy to get rid of.
Well, sometimes they are and sometimes they aren't. I mean, I know that there's people that I've known through the years that have had a hard time placing kittens when they've had litters. Mm-hmm. Sometimes there's just so many kittens and not enough people willing to take them. I mean, in fact, I had someone once send her daughter over for a sleepover, and inside the daughter's suitcase was a kitten. Well, we already had 6 cats. Yes, I was living in a very large house at the time. Cats are always indoors with us, and well, yeah, the little suitcase was meowing. When she wheeled her little suitcase in to stay for the weekend, it was meowing. And I thought, well, what's going on? Because we had just gotten a kitten a couple weeks before that because it needed a home. And, okay, so we made number 6. So we had 5 adults and a new kitten. I thought, how on earth did that suitcase get unzipped and that kitten get in there already? She's still just inside the front door. And the mom who dropped her off starts laughing and says, I have 7, now so do you.
All right, go over there, okay?
So they already had 7, and what we said was, okay, kitten can stay the weekend and then goes home with Janet on Sunday. Well, you know what? By the time the kitten's there for a couple days, how fair is that to the kitten when they've adjusted? They're happy. So we kept it, and that was that. But sometimes you just can't find for them, and then sometimes there seems to be a shortage. So I don't know if there's any rhyme or reason to it.
Right.
I just don't know. So I'm pretty frustrated today. Although we had some, got some things accomplished today and had a nice family dinner out and stuff. So we did have some good positive in the day too.
Well, that's good to hear. That's terrible news, but at least you're doing something about it. And again, if anybody hears about this stuff, you can report it. I mean, from what I think, I don't think that's legal. I don't think you can just. That doesn't make any sense. All right, so let's get moving on, okay? I kind of lost my train of thought. I was trying to get the graphic up. That's Haleigh Andelman. She's still missing too, guys. That's not the case we're going to be doing though. Okay. Sorry, guys. I'm just getting on the right page here. Let's get started with a case that I did last night. This is case number 745. Erika Andelman. The case was requested to be open on 5/16/2009. It was completed last night and posted today, May 17th, 2009. Deborah, what information do we have for Erika?
Erika Andelman has been missing since April 3rd of 2009 of this year. Her date of birth is March 17th of 1994. She's 15 years old and she's missing from Springfield, Illinois. She's a biracial female, 5 feet 4 inches tall, 140 pounds, brown hair and brown eyes. What do you have on this case, Brian?
Okay, I knew that was going to be quick because actually I just was putting a link up there. There's not much on her at all, other than what you just said. Okay, what I have is the dream drawings from last night. I do believe that she's safe. The first one says 20 May, white brick building and the number 85. It's possible I think she may be located on May 20th, which is in a few days. The next dream drawing says tower in Kansas City. It's some type of tower. I don't know what it is. A cooling tower. I don't know what kind of tower it is, but that's really all I have on this case, other than I think that she's safe and possibly maybe located on May 20th, and would be even when it says white brick building, there's no drawing or nothing like that. Real brief notes. So that's all I have. Kevin, I know you meditated. I'm sorry, never mind, Kevin, you didn't get this one. Gail, do you get any thoughts or feelings on this one?
I don't feel as if she's passed. The biggest thing I feel here is willingly gone. The numbers, I don't get numbers always. Some of these gates I've been getting numbers, and I'm not sure I understand it, and I really can't explain it.
Yeah, I get long series.
624 was one of the numbers.
Okay, hold on. Well, I'm going to type
118.
Okay, real quick. 624. I'm gonna type your notes. I think it might be a little bit faster. Okay, and then she said, what did you say before that? She went willingly. Is that what you said?
Willingly. And I kept hearing. I'm not sure I caught the last one. It's either Westfield or Westfall.
Okay.
And I'm assuming this is maybe a name of a street. I'm not sure, though. I can't guarantee that. But I don't feel that she's in what I'd call terrible danger right now.
Okay.
And I just feel you're going to hear something before the 30th.
Hear something. Thank you, Gail.
You're welcome.
I think it's going to work a lot better if I just type the notes in instead of scan. It might take me just a little bit longer, but this prevents me actually had to put it up on the scanner, and sometimes the page is long. Okay, so I got went willingly, the number 624, number 118. I don't think I'm going to get those numbers. Westfield or Westfall, no danger. You might hear something before the 30th. Okay. Thank you, guys. Okay, we're going to move on to our cases from 2008. And our first case would be case number 614, Danny Barter. I'm going to get the graphic up real quick, and then if I had two computers, this would be much better. Okay, the case is requested to be opened on January 14th, 2008 by Lynn. The case was opened March 6th, 2008. Deborah, what information do we have for Danny?
This is one of the cases that's been open the longest from, cases that I've seen you working on, Brian. Danny Barter has been missing since June 18th of 1959. So we're just about to 50 years now. His date of birth, December 12th, 1954. He was 4 years old when he went missing. Let's see, 54 years old right now. 3 feet tall, 50 pounds at that time. He's a Caucasian male with brown hair and brown eyes. He has scars on his fingers and a scar on his tongue. He was last seen playing near the banks of Perdido Bay, Alabama, between 9:30 and 10 o'clock in the morning on June 18th of 1959. At the time, he lived at the 1700 block of Thrush Drive in Mobile, Alabama, and they'd gone camping for the weekend. He was with his parents, a cousin, and 3 of his 6 siblings. The campsite that they were at was only about an hour from their home. Danny apparently wandered away from the rest of the family while his parents were getting ready for a fishing outing. He was carrying a bottle of knee-high soda at the time. His mom's name is Maxine Barter, and she started searching for him 10 or 15 minutes after she had last seen him, but couldn't find him. The area that he went missing in is swampy and infested with alligators and snakes. Authorities looked into the theory that he had been attacked by an animal. They even killed and gutted 2 alligators to look for human remains, but they didn't find any evidence. And I know from discussions that you've had, Brian, with Gail, and Gail's on here, that when it was talked about with gators, if they were to attack a person, normally there's something left behind. So,
right,
I don't know, how conclusive something like that would be. They found no evidence. I'm not sure. They looked extensively in that whole region, land and water both. No sign of Daniel or his remains. They never found the knee-high soft drink bottle either. They did use bloodhounds, but that didn't get them anything useful either. Danny's mom, Maxine, said that he did not like the water, and she doesn't think he would have just gone into the water on his own. Another thing, the water was really shallow at the time, and you could walk out quite a distance you know, in the shallow water before it getting deeper. There was a lot of undergrowth around the campsite at the time. It was real thick and prickly. Daniel was barefoot and only had on a pair of shorts. So they don't really think that, you know, he went through that area either. You know, he would have gotten really scratched up and stuff. They decided after looking and finding nothing that he probably didn't wander into the woods or the water. They looked into the possibility of an abduction, but they could never find any evidence to support that one either. His family was not wealthy, and they never received any communication from any kidnappers. You know, there was no ransom demanded or anything like that. About a month before he went missing, his mom said a mysterious vehicle parked in front of their home in Mobile. The mom, Maxine Barter, approached the car and the driver, which was a man, who covered his face right away with a newspaper and drove away. An evening not long after that, one of their neighbors saw a strange man looking into the boys' bedroom at the home, where the boys, including Danny, were sleeping at the time. And the neighbor went, you know, and told the mom, and they went right to where the man had been standing. He was gone by that time, but there was footprints left behind in the dirt from him under the window. Police went ahead and, you know, made casts of those footprints and took photos, all those things. And they're not sure if that evidence is still in existence at this point. On the morning before he went missing, the mom, Maxine Barter, took Danny and one of his brothers to the store, and she went inside, leaving the boys in the car by themselves. While she was inside of the store, an unknown man drove his car up next to their car and stared at the boys for quite a while without saying anything, and then he drove away. Danny's brother told their mom about it when she came out of the store. These types of things with, you know, peeking in the windows, you know, the car, you know, staring, you know, these sightings, you know, and that type of thing is what leads them to think that, you know, it was kidnapped and someone may have been, you know, watching the family. They did reopen the case after the year 2000. You know, once we got into the 21st century here, which is, you know, close to 50 years after he went missing. Many of the original files they have on this case have either been lost or they've been destroyed through the years. As, you know, people have gone through and investigated, you know, the case and such. Danny's dad died in 1965 and his mom died in 1995. One of Daniel's brothers is sadly no longer with us either. He died in 1997. The rest of them are all alive and well, though, and they still hope for resolution on this case. And what do you have on this case, Brian?
Thank you, Deborah. Very good research, as usual. The dream drawings only have one. It says the number 392. He fell into water. Warm. There's no body. Clothing was found at dock. Red shirt, bottom. And then the notes say, I think Daniel may have drowned. So I did get this feeling. I think there was an accident of some, and someone found his shirt, but it may not have been reported. I do not know why there is no body other than natural events. So it's possible that somebody may have found a red shirt. Shirt's not drawn, but there's a boat. It could be a dock or something like that with some type of ramp or something next to it. But maybe somebody found a shirt or something like that and didn't think twice about it, and maybe just threw it away. I'm not sure what the accident was, but I do not think that he's alive. I know the case has been open for a while, but we don't have anything really on it after that, other than this single dream drawing, Deborah. Okay, so that's all I have. Kevin, what do you have? I'm going to take some notes for you, too.
Okay. Well, what I did was I took notes after I did the meditation on this particular case. I have still alive. Okay.
That is wonderful. I like that. That's very good to hear. I mean, and I realize you might not be right, but I mean that's good. Go ahead.
Well, another thing is, Brian, I don't research your website or any of your cases. All I'm interested in is a name, and that's all I want to go by when I do meditations. I don't want to know how old they are. I don't know. Well, I don't want to know if they're presumed dead or alive or whatever. All I want to know is their first or last name if possible.
Right. So what's the way a lot of people do it? The less information, usually the better. I didn't mean to interrupt you, but there's there's reasonings for that. Other than the obvious reasons, you don't want to interfere with your work, but the less you know, the better, because a lot of times reports are wrong anyways. So go ahead.
Right. But yeah, it's I have no idea who these people are. I don't know how old they are, but through meditation, I can possibly come up with some kind of information. Now, of course, I didn't know if Danny was taken yesterday, or if he lived in Brazil or whatever. So I would ask questions throughout my meditation, like the first question I normally these days when you go to investigate a case, especially if it's a missing child, you want to know if it's a human trafficking case. Most investigators do. So that's what I asked, and it said no. Of course, it's not, because now I know it was back in the 50s, I guess, when this person went missing. I do have mountains near a home. Red car. Then I have C as in cat 631 and the initials MO. I think that means Montana. I'm not sure.
Okay.
And that's it.
Thanks, Kevin.
Yep.
Gail, are you able to do anything on this case? Gail, you still with us? She might be gone.
No, I'm here.
Okay.
Sorry.
That's okay.
I was doing some other work, and I actually had to ask Deb. I missed the whole thing because I was doing some other work right then.
Okay.
And I just had to ask her how long you'd been missing, because I missed everything. All I can do is tell you what I got while I was writing this all down, because I didn't have a chance to hear all I was working with the name.
Okay.
Here,
This is, well, Danny Barter.
I had the information that came in was the men took him. His body was put into water. When they say water, I feel like he maybe wasn't he wasn't dead when they put him in that water. He might have been unconscious or whatever. But it didn't say the man, it said the men, plural. So, the other thing is, I think I heard you say something about clothing. I've caught bits and pieces, but I had written this down, so all I can do is put down what I have. It says the boys that went fishing found the shirt,
Okay.
and they used
I
it to wrap something up in it.
Okay. Yeah, I did have a red shirt.
Well, they used it to wrap something up in it.
Okay.
So, yeah, I don't think it. I'm not sure that it was. To be honest with you, my feeling is the body isn't findable or was never findable. I didn't get a whole lot as far as why it's not findable. I mean, was it eaten by wildlife, or was it? You know what I mean? I didn't really get anything on that.
Okay. Anything else?
Yeah, the one thing I heard was 21 Sampson Road.
SAMS. Okay. All right. You said some men may have taken him. Body was put into the water, and he possibly was alive when he went in the water. So maybe a
Right.
drowning. The men put him
Well,
there.
I don't know the circumstances, but I felt it was like I felt like I was camping in the situation of I saw a lot of different the only way I can describe it is in the old days we had a camper trailer when we were kids, and it has the really rounded kind of as sides as it goes down.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't look like the modern day campers. And those were in the area where I saw this take place.
Okay. Do you remember the color of the shirt? Do you know it was possibly red or not?
I swore I saw like checkers on it.
Okay.
When I looked at it, like, I don't know, I guess it would almost remind me of a
Plaid?
maybe a flannel type or something plaid. Because I didn't get a real good look at it.
Okay.
It was pretty fast as they flashed things. And I guess the one thing that bothered me is I saw an area, and if I can real quick, Deb, what state is this?
Missing in Alabama, from Mobile, Alabama, and he was camping in Perdido Bay, Alabama, about an hour from out of Mobile.
Now, just a question, because I don't know anything about the area. Is that a river?
Alabama?
Or a pond?
That would be on probably on the coast, right? Hold on, I'm Googling right now. It's located on the Alabama-Florida border.
It's because I actually see like a freshwater.
It is, yeah, fed by fresh water.
Pond or freshwater or something there. It's not salt. And I see a smaller, what I would call a very small lake or pond. I don't know how you'd put it. I'm going to assume they call it a very small lake. But the water seemed to be, what strikes me is the water had a brownish look to it instead of bluish.
Okay. Go.
And I don't know, and I kept feeling like it was because of some of the roots of some certain type of tree causes the water to look brownish. Now, what that is, I don't know, never heard it before, but I'm saying something about the roots caused the water to be brownish there.
Okay, got that.
And that's where I actually saw him in this place.
And
I saw funny things on the ground, and I don't know what it was. You know, like in my area, I would look at it and say that's things off of needles off of a pine tree, but it's not long needles. It's like little round ball things that are they're brown, no bigger than the tip of my finger, but they seem to be all over this area.
Okay. My goodness, that's a lot. All right, thank you, Gail. Is there anything else?
That's it for that case.
All right. Kevin, do you have anything else?
No, just what I meditated on.
Okay. And I read that back to you, right? The notes from me, I got still alive, not human trafficking, mountains near a home, a red car, Charlie 631. Mike Oscar, could be Montana maybe. That's it.
Correct.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, we'll move on to our second case. Sorry about that too. My son's going back and forth. He needs to be asleep right now. He's not. All right, the next case is for Tamra Jewell. The case was requested to be opened by Tanya back on June 25th of 2007. Did not get the case open until March 6th of 2008. Deborah, I know, are you still with us?
Yes, I am.
Okay, thank goodness. Well, what do you have for Tamra?
Well, I had mentioned to you earlier that I thought this case had been reviewed before. That, in fact, was a case for Jewell Mahavia Strong.
Okay.
I went through and I searched through all your open cases, and there was not a previous case open on Tamra. Her name is Tamra Jewell, and the last name is Keepness, Keepness.
Okay.
She has been missing since July 5th of 2004 from Regina, Saskatchewan, Canada. Date of birth, September 5th, 1998. 5 years old at the time that she went missing. 10 years old now. 3 feet 5 inches tall at that time. Let's see. Her hair is described as being brown and black. Brown eyes. Let's see. She is Native American, female. She has a scar on her right leg and a slim build. She was last seen wearing a light blue halter top with pink accents on it, light blue jeans, and pink and white shoes. Tamra was living with her mom and 5 of her siblings, including a twin sister. She was last seen in her bedroom at the downtown Regina home. And once again, this is in Regina, Saskatchewan, Canada, around 11 p.m. on July 2004. Tamra's mom states that she knows her full name, her birthday, and her address. The family and authorities at this point are worried that she was a victim of foul play, and they have no information to support a possible kidnapper. So what do you have on this case, Brian?
I heard you, Deborah. I'm sorry. I had to let my dog in too. Okay. I have two dream drawings. The first one says mole, Grand Fork Circle, and then the word room. There is a drawing. This could be a lot of different things here. I'm guessing maybe it's a gate connecting two buildings. There is an image of a man on the top. He's wearing a beret. Has really thin glasses. He might have a mole on his right shoulder. And that's all I see there. The second dream drawing says lion. A man was in town for 2 months. White male, young looking but in late 30s. Black beret. Did not pay rent. Comment says I used to live in Grand Forks when I was a child. So this detail might not be correct. Basically what I'm saying is I used to live in Grand Forks, North Dakota as a kid, so that might possibly affected the dream. That's really all I have on this case. So I don't know anything other than I just told you. Kevin, what do you got?
What I have is not alive. White male, 30 to 40 years old.
Okay, hang on. I'm sorry. I'm just trying to type this. Okay. You said white male. Okay, white male.
30 to 40.
Okay, 30 to 40.
Works at office, maybe manager, part of a warehouse. He has a girlfriend, and that's it.
Works at office or warehouse, you said?
Works at office, maybe manager,
Okay.
part of the warehouse. He has a girlfriend, and that's it.
Okay. All right, thank you, Kevin.
You're welcome.
Gail, you pick anything up?
Yeah, I do have that she is passed. And it doesn't make any sense to me, but this is what I got. She was taken to the windmills. I don't understand that. That's something we're probably gonna have to do some research on.
Okay.
And also something sounded to me like it said either Castor Island. I don't know if it's like, I don't feel like it's like maybe an actual island, but you know how, sort of, I guess, well, maybe it is, but sort of like, how you think of Long Island?
Mm-hmm.
It kind of reminded me of that. The way it's set up. So I don't know. I really didn't pay attention to too much of what Deb was saying, so somebody kept saying also take a look at his brown shoes. There again, I'm not sure I know what that means.
Okay.
And he had a bottle of whiskey. And I know you'd gotten something about so many days, but I kept hearing 3 days.
Okay.
And I kept feeling as if he sold something or he had something that he was selling. Like he wasn't a permanent resident of the area. Because it was a feeling of passing through.
Okay.
And if I have to ask, I asked about today and how things look. And it was something about windmills and then look by the stores. And I don't know what any of that means.
Okay.
And I couldn't quite figure this out either. I don't know what it means. Charmaine.
CHARMAINE.
However, Charmaine would. That sounds like Charmaine.
Don't ask me.
Charmaine.
I'm relying on spell check for everything I'm doing here.
I don't know. You might want to ask Deb.
We'll review this when we get off the show, anyways.
Yeah. I don't know how you spell that name.
Oh, Deborah's. She's typing. Thank you, Deborah.
Okay. So I wasn't really sure. I don't think I've ever seen the name spelled out before.
I spelled it right too. Okay. Charmaine. What is Charmaine?
I don't know. It felt more like it was a place, not a person. Possibly a street.
Okay, I've Googled it. Charmaine, there's some people. Charmaine.
Could it be a company? Corporation?
I don't know, but I felt more like it was a place, not a
There's
person.
A song. There's more of a song. Okay, you said more of a place. So this could be. I'm gonna put a note. Maybe place.
Yeah, place, not a person.
Okay.
And I feel key to this is, and she's findable. And what these windmills have to do with it, I don't know.
Okay. Findable. Okay. Thank you, Gail.
You're welcome.
Okay, the last case of tonight. This is case 618. Sofia Oliver. I'm sorry. Deborah, please help me out.
Oliveira.
Oliveira, okay. Sofia Oliveira. I'm very sorry about that. Let me get the graphic open. Okay, this case was requested to be open sometime in March of 2008. The case itself was open. This case now was open. There is another case, I believe, too. Oh my goodness. March 24th of 2008. I'm just reading. This one starts out a little bit different. There's a bunch of information before the case file, so I'm not sure the exact date of when it was initially requested. But there's a lot of stuff here. Hang on one second. I'm just looking at something in the beginning. So anyways, the dream drillings were done on March 24th of 2008. Deborah, what information do we have for Sofia?
Sofia Oliveira has missing since the 22nd of February of 2004. This case is considered a family abduction. She's missing from Board of Lobos, Lobos, in Madeira, Madeira, and that's in Portugal.
Mm-hmm.
Her date of birth, February 8th of 2002. She was 2 when she went missing. 7 years old now. She has brown hair, brown eyes. She's, her background is Portuguese. At the time that she went missing, she was between 80 and 90 centimeters. And they're not sure what language she was speaking at the age of 2. Her father, his name is Luis Oliveira. His date of birth is October 9th of 1972. Her parents were divorced, and he took Sofia from the mom. Luis Oliveira is considered to be a fisherman for, you know, his occupation. And where he took her from is the area that they consider Central Board of Wolves. And I don't know a whole lot about these areas they're talking about in Portugal. It's a lot different from the Malin case. They say that after he took her, he caught a taxi, and next he got a ride from a family member, and then he continued on foot with her. They say that he went to a place that they call the PSP Squad of House of Wolves, where Sofia's mom was to be picking her up, and he didn't have Sofia with him anymore. So apparently he showed up where the exchange, you know, to give her back was supposed to take place, but he didn't have her. What do you have on this case, Brian?
Thank you, Deborah. Sorry, I'm trying to put my kid to sleep. This is a pretty big case. There's a lot of information posted. I've done a lot of dream drawings on this stuff, on this case. Let me just get some stuff in order here. Okay. What we had initially done is Christine had wrote me, and she had found something to do with the Jet Sets modeling company, and see if it was possible that this girl was actually a victim of human trafficking again, and put up on the web like they like to do, posing as modeling agencies. Not to say that all modeling agencies are bad, but I think when you post little kids up there, sometimes it is a little suspicious. We did do some research on that. We looked at the modeling agency. We contacted some agencies here, and it turns out I do not think that we forwarded it to the director of the agency, and it turns out that they said it wasn't her, but we have no official confirmation from any other agency that it was not her. Nothing. I was born on the same day she was too. Just a side note. On the same day, not the same year. Real quick, I'm just looking over some of this stuff here. Yeah, this is when you and I were corresponding back and forth too. Did you know that? Gail, are you still? I don't know if Gail's there or not.
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. This case file goes back to you and me.
Yeah.
I think you actually had helped me track down to see if this child. We actually got a hold of the modeling agency, got a hold of the director, and they forwarded it to, and it turned out they said it wasn't her, but I mean, sure does look like her. We don't have that software for the facial recognition software that the feds do, but I think somebody did, and they said it was a pretty close match. As far as because
I couldn't even tell you. I don't remember the information.
Okay, well, as far we use the eyes, different points on the face as they go older apparently stay the same as your face grows if it grows normally, and there's a question about the eyes were hazel. Is it common for brown eyes to change to hazel? And it is possible for young kids their eyes color does change. Sorry, there's just so much stuff going on here in the background. Anyways, the first dream drawing says XXV, which would be probably Roman numerals 25. Handshake. She was taken to the church. I think this man, most likely a preacher, was responsible for Sofia is today. This is not what It says, "This is really not what I wanted, and the DDs did not help me to figure out where she is now." Back then, I still do it today. I get frustrated getting a lot of images and stuff, and basically the information I have is useless to try to find anybody. But then I did do a pretty good job on the drawing of this person, and I believe he is probably a preacher. That seems to fit a lot of things going on in Portugal. A lot of churches, Catholic churches, mainly Catholic churches, taking in children that belong to parents, and the parents don't know that they're missing, or they are missing and have been abducted. This more than likely is probably something along the lines of what happened to Madeleine McCann and dozens of other children in Portugal. I think that the corruption goes through the church, and the church, I think, maybe doesn't condone it, or maybe the people in there don't play a part in abducting the children, but I think they sure do know. They sure know what's going on. Okay, and then Gail, I got on March 25th of 2008. You emailed me back. I think this is we talked about the jet set photo. Am I bringing back any memories, Gail?
Somewhat,
Okay.
but I mean, I do have some stuff that I saw just now,
Okay.
so I can add some
Okay,
pieces
hang
to
on.
it.
Let me just get this done. Sorry, guys. I'm just looking at a case file. It is. If you click on the last case, you'll see what I'm talking about. This came from you, I think. Says Brian, this case is strange. I worked on it. I felt a lot of hate that was done in spite. She will not be hard to find for all the right things. Check out the father's family. Sincerely, Gail St. John. Still your same email. Hey, I have to contact that Gail St. John someday and ask
Yeah,
her.
when you find her, could you let her know? I'd like to talk to her too.
I know I didn't do this drawing, and if you drew this, Gail, your drawing is as bad as mine. Red shoes or socks.
I probably drew it, and I do draw really bad. You know that.
Red shoes or socks, the number 016 metal. You drew a fence. So you pick a fence. Rome, riding stables, 6 kids. Watch to WCHT to the cold ocean near city with V name. Moved 2X by boat, car, boating dock, women dark hair. 30s took her from him. 18 did this here. Family knows where. That's from you, Gail, I think. Vivian wrote back. If you follow this case file, you guys can do the same thing I'm doing. I know I probably need to do a redo on this case, and a redo in a new case, Deborah. I think on a lot of these missing people, missing children from Portugal, we have not done work on, and then this is just getting the tip of the iceberg when it comes to missing children in Portugal. So many are not reported, which sounds strange. A 3-year-old goes missing. That's the first thing you do is want to report it. Not if you're not allowed to report it for fear that you'll spend the rest of your life in prison, especially if you're female. You don't want to be female in Portugal, I'll tell you that. Deborah, we had conversations about this. Gail, I know we talked about it too.
Right.
It's okay to beat your wife. It's okay to beat your children. It's okay to vagrantly sleep with other women, commit adultery, anything else. Even child molestation is not really reported, even though I know it's illegal. There is some corruption going on, and they know it. I mean, people from Portugal wrote me in a lot of the cases that we have. Please do not email me back, but this is what I know, because out of fear. And I guarantee that if some organization like I don't know, maybe this. I don't know who would get into this. Interpol. I really don't know. But when the corruption starts at the top, it's really, really hard to make changes.
Well, I do have some information to add to this case,
Okay,
which
I'm
I didn't
sorry.
remember.
Okay, I'm gonna take your notes in 1 second. Okay, we're back. We're going into this thing. I think it's really, really important that somebody needs to check out. I know some detectives that do this a lot, that specialize in looking for missing children on adult websites that pose as child modeling agencies, looking at these pictures to see, hey, because a lot of times if a girl, especially, is abducted, they will show up a lot of times on Russian computer servers offering to sell naked photographs and all kinds of disgusting, sick stuff that they make money on. And that's one way of tracking them down, because like they treat in human trafficking, these girls are goods. They use them to make money. It's really sad, but you know, somebody has to get on these sites and do it. I am not going to do it. There are detectives that are allowed to do this kind of stuff. It's out there. Unfortunately, it is out there. But we did look into that. There's some stuff posted here, some addresses. We'll have to redo thing on this. And it was on March 29th of 08. I put the model agency is not Sofia, but remember, this comes from the model agency. I'm sure that that's a legit modeling agency, and that's really not her. But it still didn't come from anybody else, and that's from Rena. I believe she works there. Okay, Gail, I'm sorry about that.
That's okay.
Ready for your notes.
On this case, the first thing I got was safe in Italy.
Okay, good news. Hold on a second.
So when I did this, the fishing boat took her there.
Okay.
I saw a fence again, so I'm gonna say probably I'm still following that same line. The words that were given to me is the homestead, which I don't know what exactly that would mean in Italy. I also saw a word, and I'm not sure how to, I'm going to put it in Skype for you, but it's GELU and it looked like CE with that mark above it. You know what I mean?
No, I don't.
Okay, well, I
got it.
I don't think I did it. I don't think I saw it and spelled it right, but it's close.
Okay. I care about the alive part. That's I always like that.
Well, that's where you can look.
Okay.
I feel like either that's the
Deborah,
street or that's like you know how you could name a complex.
Portugal,
or name something?
Italy. There's a fishing boat from Portugal, Italy. That's a trip. You know that,
okay.
right? Okay.
No.
It's a trip. It can be done, I guess.
I don't know.
Portugal, Spain, Portugal's here. Italy, there's the Mediterranean. Italy. I mean, it's possible.
It doesn't mean she was taken there first.
Right. Okay. Italy. Go on. I'm not going to try and interrupt you here.
Well, that's the last thing is that word. And I don't know what that word is or what it means, because obviously I don't speak Italian. But I don't think I spelled it right. But it must look similar to that.
Okay, I'm Googling that word, galoose.
I didn't know what it means. I'm not sure if like I said, it was flashed so fast, I tried to get it.
If anybody's in the chat, well, if you guys are in the chat room, here is what she sent me. I'll put that in there. I just Googled that. I did not come up with anything. Yeah, you may have spelled it wrong, or you just might be way out.
I think I probably spelled it wrong. I'm pretty sure I spelled it wrong because I got just a brief glimpse of it.
Okay. There's one thing I wanted to put out too. When Gail and I and Kevin and Deborah and everybody else get on here, we do discuss this stuff after the show. I take notes from these guys, even with Reggie and Travis, and with Dalton and everybody else. The information they put out is great, but it has to be more specific, and a lot of times we do get that information. You just don't see it on the show, but I try my best to put whatever we have in the case file and make that public so you guys can see that. So there is another show after this, but we just talk amongst ourselves. And we do sometimes get some stuff done, and sometimes we don't. Anything else?
Nope, that's it.
Okay, Italy. I was going to ask you this, but Italy, anywhere? Are you getting any kind of location, buildings, coastlines?
The only thing I understand is that word means just exactly, if you look that up or you find it, you found her.
Okay, well, that's important now. Hold on. Look up word. So you think that she's alive?
Yes.
Okay. That's good, and I think in cases of child abduction, especially with young girls like this, even with Madeline, they're looking for a specific type of product, if you want to put it, for their clients, and they don't want to kill their product. So in one way, that is kind of good. In another way, it's really, really sad we live in a world like this, that people have the demands for little girls. And I know I don't have to say anything about that to Deborah. She'll be talking for hours about it. Right, Deborah?
Yes, that would not be pretty today.
It sure wouldn't. We had enough bad news for a while. Let's hope we get some good news here soon. Okay, Kevin, what you got?
Oh, I think Kevin disappeared.
Oh, okay. I think he did say he had to go.
Brian,
I think he's
I have Kevin's information here.
Okay. Okay, hold on.
He says
I'm going to type it as you say it. Okay.
Okay.
Oh, hold on.
Actually, I can read it, or you can, and you can copy paste it from Skype.
You read it to me.
Kevin typed his information in.
Read it to me, and you just read it kind of slow, and I'll type. I'm getting good at this typing stuff. Sure.
Okay, or you could copy paste it.
Nope. I need it. I'm doing it in bullet form.
Okay. Sorry.
Go ahead.
All right. Alive.
Good.
3 to 4 bedroom home.
3.
White and beige.
Hold on a second. White and beige. How do you spell beige? B-A.
B-E-I-G-E.
Okay.
White male and woman.
Okay.
Not human trafficking.
Okay. Disagree with that one, but that's good. Okay.
Hills and green.
Whoa.
Around home.
What is it?
Hills, H-I-L-L-S.
Okay.
Hills and green, the color green, around home.
Okay.
A pickup truck. White with blue stripes. Six to 7 years old.
The truck?
I would assume so, yes.
Okay, anything else?
No.
Thank you, Deborah. Gail, anything else while you're listening to this?
Nope, that was pretty much it.
Okay, hang on 1 second.
And I hate to tell you guys, I have
Hold on.
I have to disappear for a little bit.
Okay, hang on 1 second. You got like a minute?
Yeah.
Okay. Gail does a show nightly, or I'm sorry, on every Sunday at 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time called Psychic Talk. Her and Betty. Unfortunately, Betty had something to do today. Gail's sick. You're sounding a little bit better, Gail. But I wanted you guys to let you know she will be on again next Sunday night. So I just wanted to let you guys know that she does have a show. It's not about missing people. It's really interesting stuff. You know, everything from UFOs to becoming psychic, to a lot of different things. Now, Gail, you are doing private phone readings now, correct?
Yes, I am.
Okay. And we can, if somebody wants a reading with Gail St. John, you can go to, I believe, cleartvnetwork.com, and then click on your little button there.
If it's set up right, yeah, it should.
Well, I'm asking you the question. I'm actually telling you the question. Yeah, it'll be up here shortly. I did have a graphic for that. That's Clear TV Network. Reggie will be on there. We'll have his own page. And Travis will have his own page up there. Gail will have her own page up there. If you're psychic and you want to help us, you can have your own page up there. I want to thank Kevin for coming on tonight and doing what he's doing. If you're psychic or if you think you have some type of abilities, I think we all do. Please let Deborah know, and we'd like to have you on. All we want is your willingness to help, and that's all that matters. It doesn't matter if you're right or wrong or whatever. We're putting information out there, and it can't hurt to do what we can do to try and find missing people. Adji Desir is still missing. He went missing January 10th of 2009 from Immokalee, Florida. Gail, once again, I want to thank you for going down there. We just Googled
You're welcome.
Adji Desir under news articles, and you're still there. So you just going down there, be it whatever people think, still got his name out there, your name out there, but more importantly, his name.
I will mention one thing. I don't think there's a Burger King there.
Okay.
Why
you plan on getting the job there?
No.
Oh, okay.
Of all the restaurants that are in Immokalee, I didn't see a Burger King. They don't have a lot of people. Think of it as a city, and you don't realize it's not a very commercialized city.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, I know it's not.
You have, you have some restaurants that are owned by, people that live there, families that live there.
Yeah, Immokalee, Florida is more of a distribution center. And as far as agriculture goes,
if you want fresh fruits and vegetables, that is the place to be, because they're selling them. They have these big, what we call like flea market style, selling right off the trucks, like farmers markets, and you can buy fresh fruits and vegetables. So I mean, that was nice. It wasn't commercialized where you'd see Burger Kings. There was, I think, a McDonald's on the outskirts of the town.
Yeah, we don't have
commercialized. I don't think there's a lot there.
I wish I had a Burger King here, but we do have a McDonald's, but no Burger King, no Taco Bell. I like Taco Bell, but
yeah, they don't have. I do, like I said, outskirts of town. I think there was a small McDonald's, and I even think I remember what's that chicken place? I can't even think what they are. It's got the Cajun chicken and all that kind of stuff. Popeyes. Yeah, kind of the outskirts of town, but right in the actual middle of the town area. There's not a lot there, and so I think a lot of people mistake it for saying, oh, it's like kind of a big city. It's not. It's a lot of mom and pop. Fruits and vegetables for sale everywhere. So it's just sort of people have a feel for the way it looks. It's different than you would normally picture.
Okay. Well, thank you for going down there. Deborah, what do we have? Is there anything new on this case? Galena, I think, I know I'm pronouncing her name right? Galena?
Galena.
Okay, I Skyped her. I had a little conversation with her the other day. I don't think that she's been out again searching. Now, from what I know, Gail, you still think that he's in the area?
Well, just outside the farm village. Somebody had written and said that, oh, he's still in the farm workers village. No, I believe if you go outside the fence, that means he's outside.
Okay.
What we drove to took us to an area where you can go outside to the fenced area. That's where we believe he is. Not too far, Brian, from where you actually marked on the map either, is where the blind drive
and another thing, when we talk about this, guys, we there is a case file. It's been public ever since the case has been open. Where we post what we got, everything, including Gail, everything that we have has been posted. So there's no doubt of the areas that we're talking about. We're just rediscussing that because we're having a public show. And so if you guys want to, please visit first of all, Adji's website. I'm not sure if there's links to my stuff there or not, but there is a case file that I have open for Adji Desir, and all that information is posted. If you are psychic or think that you're psychic or whatever, please help us to locate somebody. A lot of people talk and say different things and blah 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 blah. Great, but let's see your actions. Let's see which what have you done. Send it to us. Don't be scared if you're right or wrong, and don't put down others.
Well, I have one other thing to say too. I've gotten quite a few emails from people that are in the area. If there's any possible way that you can get out there and aid in the search, please feel free to email and talk to us about it if you can make it out there.
Sure.
Or even
now, Deborah,
if we can get you to team up with Galena. so
Okay.
that there's, because there's a little bit more safety.
The best way to do that, I
And
think, go. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
no, I think the best way to, is to get everybody teamed up. I'm really hoping. I heard from originally from the officer that was in charge that they would get a search going again. I realized that they've had, I believe, I was told that there's wildfires and things going on that they're having to contend with at this time, and so possibly that's what happened with searching for Adji again. Along with the fact that yes, it is mating season with the alligators. It's not always a safe time to be out, and that area where you marked on the map, that same basic areas where I landed, Brian, and I'll be honest with you, it's not a safe place to be during mating season.
What?
They're
I don't think
rampant.
it's a safe place to be for kids at all from the pictures that I've seen in which you've talked
But
about.
like I said, children are playing back there. We found them playing back there.
Right, yeah, I know.
And the children didn't even know there was alligators. When Glenn and I talked to the little boy, he said, alligators? Really? I'm like, well, obviously the parents don't know the children are going back there.
Well,
So
obviously there's not.
they're kind of oblivious
there's
to
not
the
too many
dangers.
parents. There's not too many parents around, from what I know, and what you've told me, and what Galena's told me, and what a lot of reports are put out that these kids are running around unsupervised. The oldest child is basically in charge, and that kid's
Right.
9.
Well, and just while I was out there, Brian, not just the alligators being out there, I came across, and I mean the alligators are thick out there. I came across bobcats, panthers. The snakes are as plentiful as the alligators out there. Cottonmouths and rattlesnakes. Those are two that I encountered while we were out there. So wild boar, a lot of them, an awful lot of them. It's just when you picture all this wildlife, you really, I think at that point you understand the seriousness of being back there in that area.
Okay.
So these children are out here playing in this area.
Now we have pictures of those areas where the children are playing. All those, we got about 100 images thanks to Galena and Gail. They're posted. They've been posted. They're actually really good high-res photos. They're thumbnail versions. If you click on them, they should open up for you, and you can see the area that they're playing in. It's a beautiful area, actually, if it wasn't for all the dangerous creatures.
Yeah, I believe even Galena got you guys the pictures of the alligators we
Yes.
saw.
We have a picture of that. The alligator, it looked to me, I saw it looked like it was something I would see in a zoo. But it's...
Well,
it's,
I'm going to tell you something. Here's what I felt like when I was back there. You know how they have the natural wildlife exhibits at the zoo?
Mm-hmm.
I felt like I was in one. And they were all running back there with me, and I, and to be honest with you, I'm an adult. I felt some fear.
Yeah.
I won't lie to anybody. I felt some fear back there.
I won't lie to you either. I don't know if I'd be around there. I'm sorry, just, I don't think I would be scared. It just doesn't seem like, I should be around something at that size. And I know apparently they're not dangerous unless during a certain time, like you said, mating season, or
Mating season is really
it's just
bad.
The potential,
So
the potential for death bothers me.
yeah.
I'm
being honest with you though, Brian. I did have some fear.
I'm sure that's nothing to be ashamed of. Haleigh Cummings. I was in a website, a new website today for missing people. It was formerly Searching Our Lost. I believe that was on Ustream. It's now moved to Blog TV. I was in there today. Very nice people in there. I put a link up to it in my missing person news section. It's also my news section. If you click on there, I'm not exactly sure the URL, but it is posted. They are covering a lot of cases, and I heard some interesting stuff on Blog Talk Radio. This is referring to the Haleigh Cummings case, and they had the private detective on talking about this case. Do you know who that is? I know Deborah knows. Deborah?
He
Cobra.
likes to be called Cobra.
Cobra.
I'd have to research to find his given name that he goes by, but he's known as Cobra.
Okay. I was listening to their conversation. Very, very intelligent conversation they had there. Very worthwhile to listen to. I didn't get to listen. I had to do a few things, but very, very important information was put out there, and I listened, and I seen Nancy Grace, and I seen all these shows, and they're not putting out that information. They're just going with their one thing, and there's a lot of speculation, but a lot of good theories that they had going on, and they had callers. And it was really something that you guys want if you're interested in the Haleigh Cummings case or any other missing person case. I think they're covering a lot of them. Listen, they have links in that in Searching Our Lost on Blog TV, I believe, there to that Blog TV. I mean, if you listen, I think isn't Reginald Reggie, doesn't he have a show on Blog Talk Radio?
Yes, Reggie does, and he's on with Travis frequently.
Okay. Yeah, they had about 50, I guess, so people in the chat room. I wasn't interested in the chat, but just listening to the conversations that they had, and they had callers, and it sounded really professional, and some really good things were being brought up in there. Strictly case related, and it's some good stuff. If you get a chance, visit that. I know I'm going to listen again. Regarding the Haleigh Cummings case, I was asked where do I think Haleigh is. For me, nothing's changed. It's posted in the case file. I think she is in Jacksonville, Florida. I know there's a lot of speculation that she might be in where? Tennessee or something, Deborah? Where were we talking about? Tennessee, up around that area?
I think Tennessee is the other state that was brought.
Okay, Tennessee. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I don't know. I mean, everything I have is posted. Really asking me these questions, I'd love to answer you, but everything, like I said, everything I have is posted publicly. And I think Gail's trying to do the same thing if she hasn't already. She's letting you guys know what she knows, because the most important thing is get the information out there. Don't wait don't wait till next Saturday 8 o'clock to post the information that you have on a missing person. Because if you know something right now, I think this is common sense. If I know something right now, I'm going to do what I do right now. Is what I'm doing. It's what Gail's doing. What a lot of people are doing is posting it ASAP, because that's really, really important. You can't wait to post this. So you're asking me questions like, where do you think she is now? Nothing's changed. If it did change, I would definitely post it. Gail, what do you think happened, or where do you think she may be? I know I hate the deceased thing, but it does seem like what's going on.
Well, I still stick with that. I said things are not right on this case, and we're all going to be surprised, but not surprised when we find out the truth.
Right.
And the one thing that bothers me, I could not post the blind drive because it lasted all of less than 1 minute.
Yeah.
Because I was stopped and stuck in a place where I couldn't go.
Right. And another thing about, I know the interviews you had coming up with them, they are under a gag order, correct?
Yes.
Okay. One thing I think that bothers me, if you're family and you have to change your story at all, unless you're forgetting like t-shirt color or something like that, something's wrong. There's, it shouldn't be a story. The facts are really simple. Usually don't forget facts. If something happens, to report it. If anybody's changing their story and it seems like there's a lot of stuff going on, that's not good. That's common sense too. You just don't. It's really, really, I guess, really, really easy to tell the truth and really, really difficult to tell a lie, and it keeps increasing if you keep telling that lie. So put yourself in a situation if your daughter or somebody you were taking care of went missing. You should be able to tell somebody around approximately where you were, whatever. And if you weren't there, something's up. There's no doubt about that. That's all I got. Other than Adji's still missing. Deborah?
Yes.
We're going almost on 2 hours. We could just keep going and do our telethon. No, we discussed this earlier. We were saying if you want to bring some attention to Adji Desir, we know that Nancy Grace doesn't want to do a thing on it. That's fine. I'm sure there's a lot of reasons. But we're hoping Oprah might do something. So we were talking about, hey, we'll just broadcast straight until Oprah does something for Adji Desir. Because if Oprah mentions Adji Desir, people will notice. Millions of people, maybe 50 million people, will say, hey, there's this picture. And then say, hey, that kid's a neighbor. He just moved in. That's what we hope happens. In all likelihood, he could be deceased, but what if he's not? What are we doing to help find Adji? I know what Deborah's doing to help find Adji. I know what Gail's doing to help find Adji. I know what Glena's doing to help find Adji. If you want to help, where do they go, Deborah?
Could go to Find Adji adji.com. There's information there, so you can print a poster, you can read all about his case, you can share it with other people. There's that great YouTube video that you made for Adji, Brian. That's there. And there's also all of those links to contact pages for the local and national media. There's a separate section for Oprah on the site, so her contact information is even separate from there and listed again to try to get some more information. Anyone who's willing to send emails, it makes it easier when you don't have to search the different sites to find out where to enter your information. So anyone that can help with that, we much appreciate it. Pass this photo around, let people know that the little guy is still missing.
Thank you, Deborah. Gail's got to go. Thank you for being on, Gail.
You're welcome. Bye, everyone. Good night.
Night. Thank you.
You're so right, Deborah.
You're welcome.
You know, please do what you can. I think that if Oprah hears about this and knows about this child is missing, not only that, I mean, he's mentally disabled, which we kind of feel for. You want to protect him even more. I think if she hears about this story, she will do something about it. You know, 1,000 people can write her, and she's not going to know, because I mean, she doesn't answer most of her emails. I mean, they go through whatever, and she may never know. So the more emails
exactly.
It's only going to take
how
one
many
email.
People actually contact her?
Right.
She's a very busy lady. I'm sure that she's not aware, most likely.
Right.
You know, otherwise I don't see why she wouldn't do something. That there has to be just a little spot of time on her show where she could flash his photo and say,
sure she
this little
would.
guy's missing.
Yeah. Oprah has a a really big fan base, and so many people are caring and loving, and I am sure that if she does something on this case, will get the attention that he deserves. Deborah, real quick, I did the show by myself the other night. We had a case that you gave me. He was found. Did you want to bring that up real fast? I know I mentioned it a little bit, but I have his image up there. I think this was Bryant Rodriguez, if I'm correct.
Yes, Bryant Rodriguez. He's the little 3-year-old that was kidnapped in a home invasion a couple weeks prior out in California. And I don't know a whole lot about the circumstances of him coming back, except I heard he was wandering around unattended, and he ended up safely back with his mom.
Okay, all I know is what I read last night. I was hoping maybe you looked. I just read the report.
Actually, to be honest, I haven't had a chance.
Okay, no, lie to me. But no, the good thing is he was located. I'm still curious about the images that I drew him, because I drew him standing on a bed. The mattress was laying on the floor. He was looking outside, and he was looking at some type of maybe a gate or something with some goes like this, and there's like wires connecting it up and down, like an arch type of thing with wires, like a door or something like that. I was just curious. I closed the case, but as we did every other case. But I'm just so happy that he was found. That's good news, because that's another case you gave me. He was found, well, 2 days later in this one. So that's good. Anything else?
I think it's awesome. Like I said, you just need to work a whole lot more cases, and a whole lot more found.
I'm ready. If somebody needs a case to be open, like I said, we're trying to do every single case that's out there. Please email Deborah. Deborah, what's your email?
They can send any case requests to caseadmin@bryansprediction.com.
Okay.
I will confirm that the case request is received, and keep in touch with them and let them know when the case has been opened.
Okay.
And we will get to all requests as soon as possible. We do try to put a priority on them, as far as putting a priority to children, putting a priority to those that are more recently missing, and also trying to do what we can in a situation of what some would call possibly findable. You know, so with as many requests as you get for cases, Brian, there's 1,000 and some requests sitting right now.
Yeah, I know.
And some of these cases go back some decades.
Okay.
So we will do the best we can to get as many open as possible, as quickly as possible. And if the case has not been opened, you know, and you're wanting to check, please go ahead and email and ask, and I'll be happy to let you know where it stands, and do the best, we can do to get it open, and get the information out there.
I'm on case 745 right now. And not to say I have 745 cases, but I've got a little over 500. And they are all public. Every single one of them we've done for free, of course. But like Deborah said, when we get the cases in, we'll do them, as soon as possible. If this is a new case, a new Amber Alert, of course we're going to do that right away. Children do take priority, but we're getting them done. Doing 3 shows a night. We are on show number 75 now. We're almost at 100. This is our 75th show. Hopefully we're getting better. Technical parts, there's only so much we can do with a $400 or $500 Walmart computer and one webcam, but we're making the best out of it. So I think we are getting a little bit better. Doing 3 shows a night, you can do the math on that. We've done over 100 cases now that we've covered individually. So that's good. And Deborah, I want to thank you for helping me. I'd like to thank some people that helped us in the past that I wish would maybe show up and help us again. That would be Butterfly, Kinsley, and anybody else? Anybody else? What about Troy? Troy was there for a while.
Yep, it would be great. And anyone that has the time that's willing to do some research, to try to do some mapping and to, look for different information during the broadcast, that would be wonderful. And we could really use the help. It's kind of hard to balance it all and be trying to do that at the same time. If you'd like to be a mod in the forum, we need you. Please go to that URL on top of your screen, Missing Person Forum, and email Deborah saying you want to be a mod and help post some stuff in these cases. Deborah's opened all these cases, but she needs to get information in the cases. So she would I won't say desperately, but you need the help. I'll help you. I would definitely say desperately at this point. Okay. There's no way for me to keep up with it. Sadly, there's just not. I know that you can't possibly get done everything that you're doing, and I can't either. So
my dreams are. I'm still 2 weeks behind my dreams.
I'm willing to help. It's much appreciated, and thank you for all the people that are helping. We really appreciate all of that. Posting in the forum and chasing down some of the information and trying to put the pieces together and creating the awareness. Thank you so much for that.
You're welcome. Swine flu. It seems like predictions have come true. Here's a little graphic to end the show. Don't do this. I think you've seen it before. But good night, guys. We'll see you tomorrow at 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, -5 GMT on Missing Persons TV. And that's it. Thanks again, Deborah. And thank you guys for coming in and listening and viewing and whatever. And thank you, Gail. And thank you, Kevin. Good night, guys.